Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, this is a sound check. Sound check, test 1, 2, 3. Sound check 1, 2, 3. Where's chat? There it is. Looks like chat. Looks like everything's working all right. Let's go to the countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, it is time to start the Old Humble late night after hour happy hour. That's me. Oh my goodness. Golly. A little bit less. A little bit less. Maybe that's off entirely. That's better. You can still see my face, but it's fine. We'll do it this way. The link to chat or the link to join is pinned in chat. This is it's really kind of just a shakeout. That's it. It's really just kind of a shakeout to see how this works. $100 or a $350 goal. What is this? I wonder. Okay, so I haven't used this. I feel like I'm like right on the screen. I haven't used this setup in a while. I'm the Old Humble guy. This is the Old Humble Distilling Company's late night happy hour. It is after midnight, late night, Old Humble after midnight. How's that sound? We'll do it that way. I am having our Texas straight whiskey. To pour it gently into the glass so as to not overflow it. Our Texas straight whiskey, 90% corn, 10% malted barley, aged 5 years in used bourbon barrels, made with all natural ingredients, gluten-free, vegan, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what $100 of our $350 goal means. So I'm going to, is that the trash can? Remove that from the list. Yes. Now this one, so our Boomtown bourbon is $60. It's now $45. Double Oak Rye is $45. But all these prices are entirely wrong. Straight whiskey $38 and $10 for shipping. So we're going to change all those because everything's online. Our Boomtown bourbon is $49.99, I believe. Our Double Oak Rye is $39.99, I believe. I can look it up. And see. This was from back in the day when we shipped it straight from the shop. Now we do it from now we ship it out from a distributor. Old Humble distilling.com/shop online. Let's see here. Why don't we talk about, let's see here, $49.99 for that. Our Double Oak Rye, special reserve is $38.99. Special reserve $38.99. That price was close. $38.99. I didn't know these things were here. I forgot. Get the package there. $31.99 for the straight whiskey. $31.99. And our Double Oak, $37.99 for the Double Oak Rye. That's even better price than I thought. Free shipping for 2 bottles with discount. SEOUNT code. Make it 2. Save. Let's show it. There it is. Bam. There we go. That works. Okay. I think we may do more open forum shows coming up in the future. You are welcome to join. If you're here in chat, you're welcome to join. Sub count 4,500. Okay. That's where we're at. Oh, okay. So now we got tickers. Let's see what this does. What does this ticker say? Computer. Oh, that's what it was. The computer fund. I must have raised $100 of my $350 computer fund. Well, I have a new computer now. So that must be what that was. So we can get rid of this, I suppose. We can do the super chat goal. Can I do that? Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, we're going to leave that site there. I can go into chat. I know I can go into chat. Okay, so I'm just kind of working my way through Restream. I haven't touched this in probably 4 months. So, that I'll get rid of entirely. Bye. Whoops. What's this say? Cancel. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, yeah, just subscribe and buy online. So what is this? Oh, that's the stupid Teespring store. Check out our website. That's what I want to say. Website oldumbledistilling.com. Yeah, there we go. All right. So what's going on, chat? What's going on, everybody? It is May something or another. I don't know what day it is. May 9th. It is my sister's birthday. Open panel chat tonight. Did I write that? I did. I'm host. Get that. John Longshanks has popped in already and said hi. Cheers, John. Okay, so what are we doing tonight? We're talking philosophy. We're talking all things philosophical. Let's do that. I touched on that today when I was cheers. Mm. 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 Goodness. You know what? No, we're going to talk about clear ice. Look at that. That is normal ice. Normal ice. And the difference between normal ice and clear ice is nothing at all. It's just water, frozen water. Normal ice is frozen water. Clear ice is frozen water. The only real difference, it has nothing to do with flavor. It has nothing to do with taste. It has nothing to do with anything except how the water froze. So if you're talking about clear ice, it froze from the top down, and the part on top is the part that is clear. And you can even see on this ice here, there is part of it that's clear, and that part in the middle is cloudy. And the reason for that is normally ice freezes from the outside in. And with clear ice, what happens is it freezes from the top down to the bottom. So the ice on, like when you look at a lake that's frozen in the wintertime, not here in Texas, because we don't get frozen lakes in Texas. If you get a frozen lake in the wintertime, you'll notice that the ice on top of the lake is 100% clear, like totally clear, right? There's a reason for that. The impurities in the water sink to the bottom, and all water has some kind of impurities. Even the stuff you get out of your tap, there's some kind of impurity in it. This is just trapped air bubbles. Usually, there may be a little bit of particulate matter left over, but it's mostly just trapped air bubbles, chlorine, fluorine, things like that are just in the water from your municipal water system. You're always going to have some kind of trapped particles because this stuff goes through pipes. Let me see that pinned. Can I show? Does that show? It does. Look at there. That's the link. Come join me. We'll talk. Anyway, that's just bubbles and stuff in the ice. So what happens with normal when water freezes is it freezes on the outside and it freezes in towards the middle. And what happens is all the stuff, when the ice freezes on the outside, all the stuff gets trapped on the inside, and then it just kind of freezes inside and it crystallizes and it gets a little cloudy. 99% of the time it becomes cloudy. But the way you make clear ice is you control that freezing process and you basically slowly let the water freeze from the top down. So the way you do this is you take a Or you can take an insulated vessel like this and you open it up and you let it freeze from the top down. So this part of it will probably not freeze while it's sitting in the freezer, but as you go up, this will freeze. You'll have a nice thick layer of ice on top. This ice will be clear and it will probably be floating in a pool of very wet, very liquid water. And as it floats in that very wet, very liquid water, the ice on top is going to be very, very, very clear. So, does that affect the flavor of your whiskey? Does it affect your drink? Not at all. But if I had clear ice in here, you wouldn't even see it. It affects the presentation. It's what turns a $10 drink into a $20 drink because your ice is 100% clear. You can't even see it. And even looking at this, you can see over here on the side, that is clear. You can't even see the ice on the side, the ice on the top. You can't even see the ice on the top. So it affects the presentation, but it does not affect the flavor. It does not affect anything else in your drink. So it's a cool hobby to make clear ice. But if the ice is the most important part of your drink, then you need a better drink. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. But it does make for a very cool presentation because when you put the ice in there, it just disappears, completely vanishes. You can't even see clear ice floating in a glass of whiskey. So that's really cool. That's the only cool thing about the whiskey. Go back to all comments. Okay, so I'm playing around with this Restream app. I'm probably not going to be on here for very long. I have done in the past StreamYard Pro, but then StreamYard started being wonky and wasn't working properly. This seems to be working okay. I'm watching, I'm monitoring it on my phone as I stream out, and it seems I'm not. It doesn't seem that I'm having any drops or skips, or it doesn't look like it's being glitchy in any way, shape, or form. I am wearing too dark of a shirt. I'm wearing a t-shirt, but my shirt is also dark, so it doesn't look like I'm actually wearing. You can't hardly see the pattern. It just looks like I'm wearing a black shirt. But what was I saying? Yeah, I was using StreamYard. Then StreamYard got bought by some other company, and then it stopped working really well. They wanted to start using StreamYard as a like some kind of conferencing thing, like Zoom. And this was back in 2021 ish, shortly after the pandemic. StreamYard struck it rich during the pandemic. There's a lot of people, most people on the YouTubes still use StreamYard when they do their panel shows. Not many people use Restream. The late great Bimbo Barbarella did use Restream. Speaking of which, let me shoot a message out to my boy Jody. Jody. If he's up, Jody, you up? So I always love sending that text message to dudes after midnight. You up? Jody Summers is one of my new ambassadors to the Old Humble Distilling Company, selling the delicious whiskey on the market out in the world. But there you go. That is our that's the whiskey topic, the clear ice. And you can see the difference. You can see what ice, how the presentation of the whiskey is with the non-clear ice. I don't have any clear ice because I wasn't planning on doing a topic tonight. So I didn't make any clear ice to talk about it. But you could imagine what that looks like without seeing any ice in there. It would just be whiskey. Just look like whiskey with ice in it, but you wouldn't be able to see the ice. You can join the chat. You can join the panel. Come up and join me. We'll talk. We'll do some more stuff. We'll talk more whiskey stuff. We'll talk. I want to know what your favorite Um, non-factory produced whiskey is. I want to know about some small batch stuff. I want to know about regional stuff. I want to know about the whiskey that gets made in your area. We always talk about craft brews and local craft brews. What about local whiskeys? My lava lamp has gone off. Where's it at? There it is. My lava lamp has gone off and it is all bubbly. It looks like a well, that's usually my signal that we're in the middle. The middle parts, and we need to keep moving. Jody's not up. If Jody was up, he already would have seen the text. What have I been doing? Okay. Like I said, I didn't really have a topic for tonight. I just want to work the kinks out of this system that I've been working through. I want to show y'all some of the stuff that we've been doing around the shop, and I need to figure out how. Restream is a really cool tool in the same way that StreamYard was a really cool tool, is a really cool tool. But if I add a scene, media scene, okay, I just switched. Okay, that's me. Let me switch over here to new media screen. And I want to do images. Can y'all see this? I can't tell if y'all can see what I can see. Nope, y'all cannot see what I can see. Let's look at the downloads that I've got. That's that. That's this. This is look at what AI can do. Look at these people. Look at these people. These are realistic looking human beings. AI generated this photo. This was not a picture that was generated. This was a teacher appreciation night. A teacher's appreciation night certificate that I sent to the local elementary school. One teacher at Autumn Creek Elementary is going to get a free date night certificate, 2 flights, 2 cocktails, and a charcuterie board for 2. That is a $50 value. And one lucky teacher is going to get this, and she's going to be able to bring her beau into the distillery and drink basically 4 cocktails for free, and have a little snacky snack while she's there to enjoy the charcuterie and such of the Old Humble Distilling Company. Do I get to see? Interesting. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to go into YouTube's algorithm here and set up a goal for the night, a super chat goal. Let's do 10 $2 super chats in the next hour, and I'll give away a t-shirt. How's that? And this is the t-shirt. Oh, I need to make me bigger. Make them bigger. Boom. This is cool. Be able to do that, switch between screens. That's pretty cool. There's a t-shirt. It is Love You Blue. Columbia blue t-shirt with the Old Humble logo. This one is an XL, I think. Maybe it's a small. Nope, it's a medium. It's neither XL or small. There it is. Love You Blue, Columbia blue t-shirt. Baboosh. We get 10 super chats for what is it? $2? 10 super chats for $2. We raise $20. I give away a t-shirt. That's fair. I think that's fair. What else is going on here? I have just finished my order for Germany. So we are in 11 of the 46 states, I believe. I need to sell 2 more states to contiguously connect our sales from coast to coast. But I've kind of backed off the marketing of the website to focus on the marketing of the tasting room itself. I have gotten thinner. Look at me. I don't look like a fat fucking slob in my face anymore. Hang on a second. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I am reforming my body into a shape that is less gross. I'm proud of myself. Proud of myself. Yeah, so that's been since the beginning of the year. I've dropped actually 15 pounds since the beginning of the year, and really since the end of February. So March, and in 2 months, 15 pounds since the beginning of March. Because January and February doesn't really count. Because oh, looky there, Pete Lippincott is in the house. Ah, man, I haven't talked to you in eons. Join the panel, homie. Click on the link. Come and see me. Let's talk. I am up late. Actually, it's not late for me. Usually I'm up between midnight and 2:00. I'm usually doing some kind of work, goofing off, screwing around, rocking the dad bid. Rocking the dad bod. Yeah. Hey, I've returned to dad. I've gone from dad bod to fat slug, and now I'm returning back to dad bod. I'm going to be in dad bod probably for the next 30 pounds or so, because I'm at 250. 250. I'm going to be in the dad bod zone until probably when I break into the 2 teens. Mostly I just got tired of looking at myself naked and thinking, ew. I mean, it's, you reach that point where you just look at yourself like, man, I got to do something about this. You get tired of waking up. I got a little message here. Okay, y'all can't see this because I'm in the control room, but up here above my head on my screen, it says Pete has joined the stream. Where'd it go? Okay, shit. I look over here. There he is. I add you there. Did that work?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Hang on. I haven't used Restream in a minute. So is that the one? There's Pete right there next to me. Pete's big old face next to me right there. Is that the one? Which one do I want to use? I think I want to use this one. So in the past, back in the early days of doing the Old Humble Happy Hour, I used an overlay on the screen. So there was like this room, and it looked like a room, and it was like us carved into the room. I called it the Red Velvet Lounge because it looked like the Red Velvet Lounge. What I imagined my tasting room might look like. So anyway, I don't have that for this because I haven't paid for Restream. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's late because it's after midnight. Late great Pete Lippincott has joined the party. Cheers, Pete.
Hey man, good to see you. How you been? Uh-oh.
Fuck me. Microphone fell off.
That's life.
Yep. Shit like that happens. All right. Like I said, I'm working out the technical difficulty.
No, you're good, man. How you been?
But used Restream in a while.
I was just asking how you been. Can you hear me at all? I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah. No, I don't have headphones. I don't have headphones. Okay. I am listening to you through my computer.
You're good.
So that is a piece of technical things that I need to fix, I guess. I need to figure out how to get probably Bluetooth or USB headphones.
Yeah.
So I can hear what's going on the computer properly.
I'm going to sleep.
I've been busy as hell, man. That's what I've been doing. I've been fucking running 2 different directions at the same time for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing?
Man, same old, same old. Still doing air hockey and still working the day job. I know you can't hear me, but it's good to see you.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just coming through the computer.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. What would be weird is if I had to listen to you on my phone on a
Yeah.
20-second delay.
Ooh, no, that would
It'd be
work.
like you on Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, still doing the air hockey stuff. Still rocking it every Friday night, man. And they've got a Thursday night tonight as well now at Bad Astronaut.
No shit.
Yeah, they're doing photon doubles there. It's a different format. And,
Wow.
we still got that little 7-6 place down in Milan.
Cool. So for reference, for the ones and ones of people who are watching,
Ones and ones, yeah.
Pete is he runs the Air Hockey 360 League. I got that right? 365.
Yeah, I help run the archive channel, but yeah, there's
Air Hockey 365.
Yeah.
As seen on ESPN Ocho. Do I have that right?
Yeah, it was a few years ago. But
okay.
Yeah.
As seen on ESPN, the Ocho. But he runs an air hockey tournament here locally in Houston, Texas. It's dope as hell because these people are really good at air hockey. This is not your barflies playing air hockey. These are people who actually know how to play air hockey, and they have like the wristbands and goggles and shit. They're good at what they do, and they're as close as you get to athletes who play air hockey.
Yeah, we get into it. We have a good time.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't want to just outright say they're athletes.
Table sports.
But in the realm of table sports, they are the semi-pros.
Some of us have dad bods like me. We're good.
Yeah, I got you. It's like cornhole champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are those. I don't want to be too disparaging because y'all are really good at what you do,
man.
But this isn't like curling.
No.
Like those guys can sweep. But these guys have legitimate, and gals. It's co-ed, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a separate men's and women's division. It's just
a great equalizer. In the main tournament, you can be a man or woman.
Great eye-hand coordination.
Yeah,
they're very good at what they do.
Yeah, man.
I'm 100. I used to be good at air hockey in college.
Nice.
I could literally hold a drink in one hand and play air hockey in the other and crush it. Yeah, go Cougs. But I am 100% certain that if I played air hockey against these people, I would get shut out.
Yeah, we have a good time. Hey, man, I got to go to bed. It's late for me. I will talk to you soon. Good to see you online.
You son of a bitch. It's only it's not even 1 o'clock. God, it's
late for me. Call JB. He's still up.
JB. All right. Well, Pete, it was good to see you. Good to hear from you. I will
see you too, man. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do something to the shop. You're gonna have to take some of those portable tables and bring them out to the shop.
Man, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
His air hockey tables travel so well. All right, Pete, get some sleep. I'll talk to you later. Jody. Oh, is that Jody? No, that's my mom. Yes, I text my mom. She sometimes uses the phone as like a talking device. She'll leave a message and say, call me back, or send a text and say, call me. Of course, it's your mom. If you get a text from your mom that says, call me, of course, you're going to call her. You're not going to not call your mom back. What kind of fucking monster gets a text from their mom that says, call me, and you text them back, say, no, you call me. No, nobody does that. That is an unacceptable way to live life, people. I need to get who can I get? Who can I text at midnight to get onto the show? My lovely niece graduated college today. Very proud of her. I'm not going to text her though. That's dumb. Let me see if I can get Lisa Linney up. Lisa Linney. There it is. You up? Question mark. Cryptic messages. Cryptic messages at 12:30 of simply you up. uh I love it. I love my life. I love living my life. Okay, so let's talk about current events. Let's talk about shit going on. We have a new pope. I want some water. We have a new pope, a Chicagoland pope. A dude from Chicago is the new pope. That's dope as hell. We got a new pope, and that's dope. I was live this afternoon when the black smoke came. It was black smoke, right? Black smoke is the pope smoke. White smoke is the no pope smoke. I don't know. Whatever. I was going live this afternoon, yesterday afternoon, technically, bottling up some Boomtown bourbon, finishing the German order. When I saw the message come through on the Facebook saying we have a new pope, we have a new pope. So we got on the new pope. It was not Pope Pizza. Oh God, there was a candidate for pope called Pizzaghetti, Pizzarelli, Pizza something, and it was the most Italian name you could possibly get. It was like Peter Pizza something or another. And I was looking at that, and the thought was you couldn't be more Italian unless it was like Salami Spaghetti Pizza Man or something like that. I mean, this dude's name was the most Italian name. What was it? Pizzarelli? Pizza Cardinal. I don't know how to spell cardinal. Dinal Pizz. Pizza Bella. That's what it was. Cardinal Pizza Bella. What was his full name? Pier Battista Pizza Bella. Pier Battista Pizza Bella. I mean, how do you get more? The Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem. I wanted to have Pope Pizzarella. Pizza Bella, sorry. I wanted a Pope Pizza Bella because I thought that'd be dope as hell. Is considered a papabile potential pope due to his strong pastoral leadership. I just think he has a cool name. I don't see. That's why I'm not allowed to be a cardinal. I wonder who Mark McGuire voted for. He was a cardinal. He's a retired cardinal. Do they let retired cardinals vote? We have to ask. I think we need to check with MLB to find out how the 52 Cardinals of St. Louis voted. And I don't know, what do we have? 60 men on the roster in Arizona? How do the Arizona Cardinals vote? Do they all vote singularly as a block? Or do they vote individually as people, as individual Cardinals? Does the Arizona Cardinal vote, or is the individual Cardinals from Arizona voting? And the individual Cardinals from St. Louis? Is there an NHL Cardinal? St. Louis Blues. They're not the Cardinals. I don't think there's a Cardinal for the NHL because I don't think you get Cardinals in the wintertime. I don't know where they go. I mean, I assume they go somewhere, but they're not migratory birds. They're songbirds. So where does the cardinal go? See, these are the kind of conversations we would have in bars back before COVID ruined everything. Back before the whole fucking world went crazy. Back in the 1990s and the early 2000s and even the 2000 teens, we would be in public with each other and speak, and we would have nonsensical conversations about nonsensical stuff. And this is how guys bonded. We talked. And you want to find out if we're okay? The answer is no, we're not okay. But we're not talking about our feelings. We're talking about cardinals and where they go in the winter. Do they disappear? Where do cardinals go? We don't know. They're not migratory. They're songbirds. Does that mean when it's fucking cold as shit outside, they just sit out there on the ice and they tweet? I don't know, because I don't live in a place where it gets cold. I don't have an answer for that question. Looky there. Top Shelf Dustin is in the house. They don't go anywhere. They just stay warm. Well, there you go. They're songbirds. They're not migratory birds. They just fucking stay warm all day long, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't get cold enough for the Cardinals to leave Texas. I wish they would. We had one Cardinal leave Texas, Bertrand Berry, but he left Texas because he went to the Patriots, and then he went to Arizona. And he won a Super Bowl ring in Arizona. Graduated with Bertrand Berry. Bertrand Berry. Dustin, come on the show. Click the fucking link and come join me. I gotta go do a thing real quick. Oh, no, I don't suppose I do. It's cool enough in here. I got the fan going. I was gonna play with my thermostat, but I don't have to do that. Anyway, this is the kind of conversations we would have. We would talk about piles of dead Martys and Back to the Future 3. We would talk about time travel. That's my personal pet favorite, is time travel. Because if you went into the future, this was a thought experiment that I played around with the other day during breakfast. If I went into the future to meet me, I would know where I was in the future. I wouldn't know where, hang on. I wouldn't know where future me is in the future, but I would know where present me is in the future, because I would go into the future and I would be at Milam in Maine. I would be at Congress in Maine at 3:00 on May 9th, 2027. So I would hang out there for like 30 minutes. Then I would go back to the present and set a timer on my phone, a reminder on my calendar, that on May 9th, 2026, next year at 3 p.m. for 30 minutes, I'm going to be at Maine and Congress. Now, present me going into the future might not see future me there unless I come back into the present and everything goes well for the next year and I remind myself to be where I'm supposed to be a year from now. But present me going into the future to be in that location does not have to have future me meet me in order for those events to work, because time travel doesn't work that way. I'm going into a future that hasn't been written yet, and then I go back in the past and write the future that will be written. So there's two philosophical thoughts around that kind of time travel. Like, present me going into the future would have to meet future me at that location if present me went back to the current time. If present me will have gone back to current timeline and fulfilled my future obligation, will then have fulfilled my future obligation to meet with present me, who would have gone forward to be with future me. God damn. Verb tense is all fucked up with time travel. So is it the same me being in the same place? Is it possible for present me to have gone in the future, not seen future me, but for future me to exist at a place where present me had been? Can you change the future? Can you change the past? Because two things could happen, right? So if I go into the future and I don't show up at that street corner, and then I go back into the past, and then a year from now, I do go to that place. So I will have changed the past because in the past, I didn't see my future self. I will have also changed the future because my past self didn't see my future self, but my future self did see my past self. And is that a problem? Can you have two simultaneous timelines? Because theoretically, at least, if a current moment yields an infinite number of future possibilities, an infinite number of previous possibilities lead to the current moment. In a world where there's multiverses, in a universe of multiverses, in a existence, a plane, a present where there are multiverses, an infinite number of pasts lead to this point, but also this point leads to an infinite number of futures. So it's entirely reasonable that I could go into the future and not see me and then come back to the past. And as I travel through the future in real time, then see myself in the future because an infinite number of pasts lead to a finite moment in time, but also a finite moment in time leads to an infinite number of futures. But also, time travel isn't possible, but it could be. If you were capable of time travel, you would be as a god to people who are not capable of time travel. Because if you are capable of time travel at any point, you are capable of existing in every point simultaneously. And if you're capable of existing in every point simultaneously, you then have knowledge of the beginning and the end, the alpha and omega. You know how everything ends. You also know how everything began. You also know what's about to happen. You also know what did happen. You have the knowledge of an infinite number of possibilities from this point because as a time traveler, you are capable of being in every moment, all the time, everywhere. So if we bend this from theoretical to philosophical, the question becomes how do you act? How do you behave? As a god among men, how do you behave? Do you behave stoically? Do you behave hedonistically? Do you behave nihilistically? Do you behave those are the three philosophical uh uh oh man. So a combination of keto and fatigue is not great. With alcohol. That's not great. Um those are the three philosophical uh 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 categories. Philosophical there's a word I'm looking for. Philosophical uh shit. Philosophical ideologies? No, that's not the word. Philosophical uh philosophies. We'll just go that way. Philosophies that I'm familiar with. Hedonism, nihilism, uh stoicism. And I know there's others. But and I also know the luminaries of the rationality. I think no, rationality is not a philosophical rigorous philosophical ideal. Stoicism, nihilism, hedonism, asceticism, which is the idea that of material goods is bad for the mental health. Uh, material goods distracts from the quest for and love of knowledge. So that's asceticism. That's the hermits living out in the woods. Uh, Monasticism, which means which is when your love of knowledge is sought out through religious texts. No, that's not right. uh Monasticism, that's uh when you're alone, mono individualism. But not individualism, it's closing yourself off from the rest of the world to study alone. And that's different from asceticism, because asceticism means you don't have the trappings of a material world. You are uh, 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 shedding your material goods so that you can focus on the search for knowledge. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about philosophy in general since I was on a panel a couple of weeks ago, and the host was talking about, I'm just a philosopher, and he just kept asking why. If you just keep asking why you're not a philosopher, you're a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds ask why. Go to bed. Why? Because it's late. Why? Because that's how time progresses. Why? Because time is a construction of man. Why? Because man needed to understand how to compensate people for their days when they traded their days for labor. Why? I don't fucking know, kid. Shut up. That's how the why question generally goes. You ask enough whys. And that's also a rule as an entrepreneur. You ask the why questions in order to build your business. That's what I was looking for. Where are my captions? I'm going to close this one. You can buy our Boomtown Bourbon. Go online, oldhumbledistilling.com. There it is, oldhumbledistilling.com. Go online, oldhumbledistilling.com. You can find our whiskey right there. Boomtown Bourbon, $49.99. Double Oak Rye, $37.99. Special Reserve, $38.99. Straight whiskey, $31.99. Well, that's a hell of a deal. And you get free shipping right to your fucking door if you use coupon code Make It Two. But you also got to buy 2 bottles, and that's the rule. You got to buy 2 bottles, otherwise you don't get shit. You get shit. You get 2 bottles, or you get 1 bottle. Oh shit! There's been more chat. I'd argue time is a measurement of Earth's rotation, but time isn't a measurement of Earth's rotation. Time as we know it. Time is not a measurement of Earth's rotation. Time is time as we this is fucking fantastic. Time is not a measurement of Earth's rotation. Time is in the history of mankind, as we existed, we didn't measure days and nights and hours and minutes. We measured seasons. We measured passage of time with seasons, with the migration of animals. We would measure hot and cold, passage of seasons. We would measure so we didn't measure time then the way we measure time now, because we didn't need to harvest, we didn't need to gather, we didn't need to plant, we didn't need to sow, we didn't need to do any of that stuff. We followed the animals, right? So and most of the places where we lived, where we followed the animals, it was pretty much one season. Between the tropics of Cancers, as we know them now, we followed the animals, and it was hot. It was just hot. Summertime, hot. Wintertime, hot. Always hot. Just hot. You just follow the animals and you kill the animals. But over the course of evolution, we needed to measure not hours and minutes, but months and years, because we needed to identify the difference between, as the agricultural revolution hit, we needed to measure when to plant, when to harvest, when to water, when to do all the stuff you need to do with the plants. When you wanted the animals to breed and when you didn't want them to breed. You didn't want calves to be born at the beginning of winter. You didn't want them born in fall, because having a baby calf through the summer or through the wintertime sucked. But having a baby calf in the springtime was good, because they had all the fertile fields to feast on all through springtime, all through summertime. So you wanted them to copulate in the winter and procreate. Copulate and procreate? Yeah. You want them fucking in the winter and birthing in the spring. So we would measure the seasons. We wanted to know when to plant, because you didn't want to plant in the middle of winter because all your crops would die because it was cold as we moved outside of the tropics. So time as we knew it evolved from just following the animals to following the seasons, from hot to cold, cool to cool, from cold to cool to hot to cool to cold. So we would follow those seasons, as hunter gatherers and nomads would do. As we became more sedentary, then we would track the months. And then as we started to buy labor, then we had to break the days into hours so that we could track how much we were paying people for the amount of work they did. So as we became civilized, then we needed to track the progression of the days. So time is getting progressively defined into smaller and smaller units, from years to seasons to days to hours, right? To the point where we're paying people for a day's worth of work, half a day's worth of work, a quarter day, whatever it is. And eventually, during the Industrial Revolution, we finally get to the point where we as a species can move fast enough so that we go from one place to another within 15 degrees of the curvature of the earth within a day, so that sunrise was fundamentally altered by a significant amount of time, which is to say that if you go from Pensacola, Florida to Houston, Texas, the sun rises an hour earlier in Houston, or an hour later, an hour earlier in Pensacola. So it messes with your clock. And as you're pushing trains across the countryside, and trains are leaving a station at a certain time and arriving at a station at a certain time, you need to start planning for these schedules. You need to start standardizing the times, because Boston has a certain time based on when sun rises and sunsets, and Dayton, Ohio has a certain time scale based on when the sun rises and sunsets. But the sunrise in Dayton is at a different time than the sunrise in Boston, because it's very far apart. So you needed to have a standardized measurement of when it is, not and when it is, where it is. And granted, the sun rises, and let's use Texas for an example. The sun rises in Fort Stockton at a different time than the sun rises in Houston, simply because Fort Stockton is further west by a significant amount. But we agree on that tolerance. And the sunrise in the time in Fort Stockton is the same time in Houston, Texas, even though the sun rises at a different time, because it has to be. We have to accept that within a certain range, we're just going to have a little bit of variance as far as sunrise goes. But time, as we know it, is defined by man. We make calendars based on an arbitrary designated date in history of what is presumed to be the birth of a particular guy. And that's year zero. I guess that was year zero. We define a second as the amount of time it takes for a certain number of flashes on a quasar on the edge of the universe. We define units of measurement in time. A year is obvious what a year is. This time next year, the Earth is going to be in the same spot, 365 days from now. And when you're working on annual scales like that, it doesn't really matter if you're off by a couple of days. Nobody really gives a shit. The question is, where are the antelope? Where are the buffalo? Where are the antelope? Where are the mastodons? Where's the things that we're hunting? We're just following the herd. Nobody gives a shit. The 100,000 or so people who exist on Earth aren't checking their watches and trying to figure out what time it is. However, if you're getting paid by the hour, if you're getting paid by the quarter hour, you absolutely positively need to know what time it is. And for what it's worth, we get about, I think, 40,000 days as a mortal human beings. I think that's the number, 40,000. 365 days. Maybe it's 40,000 weeks. 52 weeks times 80 years. Is it 4,000? 4,000 weeks? 52 weeks times 80 years is 4,160 weeks. So we get about 4,000 weeks as mortals. And we get to define those weeks however we want. And yes, the second as a measurement was invented in Egypt, but the second as we know it is some definition of a quasar or something like that. The rotation of a quasar. What is a second? The measurement of a second is a fundamental unit of time measured in the international system of units. It's officially defined based on the specific frequency of radiation emitted by a cesium-133 atom. Specifically, 1 second is the duration of 9,192,631,770 periods of that radiation. The definition provides a highly precise and stable standard for measurement of time. The second from the Egyptians was as far as the circles go. There were degrees, minutes, seconds. They didn't subdivide the seconds. But it was also on a base 360 or a base 60 numerical scale, and it's fucking fascinating. But I am unable right now, because this I think was a triple. I drank the shit out of that whiskey. Anyway, where are we? So 80 times 52 times 7. Yeah, about 30,000 days. That's about right. 29,120. But yeah, my son got me a book, said it was time management for mortals, 4,000 weeks or something like that. And it walked through the whole progression of how time was relative to the people as you. I might have to read that book again. It's around here somewhere. Is that it? Nope, that's the Eyes of Texas Travel Guide. And that is the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I don't know where. I'm not sure where my other book is. It's around here somewhere. This book has seen better days. Holy cow. Some water damage in that book. Let's look at my reading list. Here it is. This is the book. 4,000 Weeks. 4,000 Weeks. Time Management for Mortals. 4,000 Weeks. Time Management for Mortals. My son got me this book. Anyway, it's a deep philosophical discussion about the dash that comes between the years on your tombstone. I like that book. It's a very interesting book. It's fun to read. And I've decided in the last couple of weeks that I'm going to live to be 125 years old. So if you can't stand me now, give it another 50 years. I'm going to piss off the whole fucking world. 125 years, bitches. I'm going to crush it. That's a delight. Okay. So anyway, that's your discussion on time. Time. When does it matter? What was it that Homer Simpson said to Bart? Mind over matter. What is matter? Never mind. What is the mind? Doesn't matter. Anyway, good night. Dustin. You know, I may stay alive just to see the day that he isn't. That may be my mission in life, is just to, you know, I mean, real. This is gonna get dark real fast. I don't understand why there aren't more assassins with brain tumors. You know what I mean? Like, you've got pancreatic cancer, you got 9 months to live. Why not take a hit job? I mean, obviously, that's not your skill set. You're not a trained killer. You're not trained to pull a trigger, shoot a gun, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get that. Cool. I wonder if I can change the background. Can I change the background on this thing? I mean, I get why. I do. I get why. Like, in a civilized society, we don't generally raise sociopaths on purpose. Right? But, like, wouldn't that be the thing to do? Is have a squad of hitmen who have nothing to lose. They're like non-operable brain tumors. Like, that's it. Like the Suicide Squad, but not suicide, just terminally ill. Right? Exactly. You're more focused on the important stuff in life. Like you're looking literally down the gun barrel of mortality. By the way, my birthday's in like a month and a half. Actually, closer to a month now. My sister's birthday is right now. Today is my sister's birthday. I'm gonna text her. It's 1:00. I'm gonna text her. I may be the first person to text her. EBB. Happy birthday. Her birthday is always on the same weekend as Mother's Day. Mother's Day weekend is this weekend. Also, the secret. Oh, no. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just in general. Like, why wouldn't, I mean, if you if you had a logistics firm that I thought my shirt was improperly buttoned, but it's level. If you had a logistics company, global worldwide logistics, and your job as a corporation was to coordinate hitmen, why wouldn't all your hitmen have terminal diseases? Like those would be the only people properly with the proper motivation. They got nothing to lose. They got no life insurance. They probably don't have. I mean, assuming their life insurance got dropped because they got the terminal illness. They got a case of deadness coming. Um, like those would be your hitmen, right? Or maybe they're just not the type of people that you have to plan out a hit. Like we all thought Luigi Mangione was like a terminally ill, chronically pain, a patient with chronic pain, and he had nothing to lose. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do the thing, and he did the thing. And everybody was like, well, is he sick? Does he not have insurance? Why would he do such a thing? Why would he throw away his life? And that's what got me thinking. Like, who would be the candidates for this sort of thing? You know, like it wouldn't be the 20-something-year-old who has his whole life in front of him, right? I mean, you're talking about uh Dustin, you're right. There's not a lot of hitmen despite the movies. I'm pretty sure every single hitman on the planet is an actual cop. I don't I don't think that's a profession that actually exists. I think that is correct. I do not think that is a profession that actually exists. I am fairly certain that every single if you talk to a guy who's like, "Yeah, I'll do that. I'll fucking kill him for $5,000." I'm pretty sure that dude's a cop. Pretty sure that guy's a cop. There was a movie. I want to say the movie was called Hitman. Um, that's the movie Hitman. Yeah, where the dude was an undercover cop who created a hitman persona, and he kind of became that guy because he fell in love with one of the people he was supposed to uh catch. So he became the guy who was the persona. It's a pretty good movie. It's not a great movie, but it's good. It's entertaining. I think I watched it twice actually. Um, there are gangs and they do hits, but for those who cross the line, yeah, there are gangs and they do hits for people who cross the line. And there's mafia hitmen who professionally eliminate people who do what they do. But I don't think there's any such thing as a freelance hitman, mercenary, soldier of fortune type where you're like, no, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't think you go to a bar and you talk to people and you're like, I need a job done. And they're like, "Oh, I know a guy," and they connect you with a dude, and you get an envelope of cash, and you hire a hitman. I don't think those people exist. Mafia hitmen, yes, they exist, but you can't hire them because you're not in the mafia. Like there's within the hierarchy of an organization who do this sort of work, but it's like in the hierarchy of the army, there are artillerymen, but you can't hire an artilleryman. You can't hire a squad of artillerymen to take out your neighbor's house. They don't do that work freelance. You can't hire those people to do that work. They do that work in a specific context, and you can't get that to happen unless you know the mafia. or whatever, a proper gang of some sort. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the cops go out and kill people. The cops pose, like if you go to a bar or someplace and you're like, hey, I need to hire somebody to get rid of my husband because he's cheating on me, or I need somebody to put a bullet in my wife's filthy whore mouth while she's sucking this dude's cock. The guy you're going to talk to, the guy you're going to hand the envelope to, that dude is a cop. That dude is not a hitman. That dude is a cop. Hitmen do not exist. Like freelance hitmen, free range hitmen, they don't exist. That's not a thing. I do not believe that is a thing. What is this? 16 to 24-year-old males were your best bet for hitman. 16 to 24-year-old males for a hot chick, because 16 to 24-year-old males would do anything for just to look at boobs. I couldn't hire a 16 to 24-year-old male to do it. My wife might be able to. Just on the idea that maybe she'll show her boobs. She might be able to hire a hitman. The illegal economy is something that straight arrow citizens don't like. We think it's a thing, but how hard would it be? Like think about illegal drugs. There's illegal drugs and then there's illegal drugs. How hard would it be? Like think this through. Who would you call to get marijuana? If somebody kicked in the door to my house while me and my lovely wife were on our couch watching Young Sheldon or whatever, and the guy comes into my living room and he points a gun at my wife and he says to me, old humble guy, you need to bring me some weed or I'm going to put a bullet in your wife's head. I know this is dark. I guarantee you I could get him some weed in less than 2 hours. It may not be the first person I call, may not be the second person I call, but within 3 phone calls, I would have a name of a person to call to get weed. It would take me 2 or 3 phone calls to get a name and a phone number of somebody to get myself some weed to get the gun out of my wife's face. Cocaine? Okay, LSD, I could probably get some acid. Same deal. 2 or 3 phone calls, I could get a name, and then I'm on the case. Cocaine may be a little bit tougher because that's not as popular as it was in the 1980s. But I'm pretty sure in the 1980s it would probably be 2 or 3 phone calls too. Probably. I don't know. And it depends on where you're at. LA probably be easier because of Hollywood. Houston might be harder because the coke in Houston is on its way somewhere else. We were a trafficking hub, not a destination. But like today's boogeyman is fentanyl. Where the fuck do you even get fentanyl? Do you call a nurse? Who do you call? Where do you go? What do you even use fentanyl for? It's a painkiller, right? What do you even do? Who do you even call? How do I get a hold of it? Maybe that'll be an experiment that I do in a couple of months. Actually try to get fentanyl. Maybe I'll record it. Maybe we'll make a show out of it. How do you get fentanyl in America in 2025? Who do you call? What do you do? Where do you go? Because I guarantee 2 phone calls, I can get that much weed. 2 phone calls. I don't think I could get a hitman because I don't think they exist. But like I haven't seen acid since college. So I assume I would go to the University of Houston and just start asking around. Hey, do you know anybody who does drugs? Yeah, that wouldn't be weird. A 50-year-old guy on a college campus asking about drugs. That wouldn't be weird at all. Um you know, a middle-aged white guy shows up at a bar, asks the bartender, say, "Hey, I need to score some pot. Where do I go?" Looking for some acid, looking for some fentanyl. Can you help me find some fentanyl? I promise I'm not a narc. I don't have any badges on me. I don't have a wire. I don't have any badges. You can check me. uh anyway, what were you saying over here? Um how badass would it be? I want my wife killed, but I want her lover's penis in her mouth. That's actually from a joke that I've heard. Uh, guy hires a hitman. The hitman says it's $1,000 a bullet. The guy says, "Okay, I want you to shoot my wife, and I want you to shoot the guy who's fucking her." And the hitman goes, "Okay, cool." Um, and he goes and he does his prep work. He figures out what's going on and everything. Uh, the guy calls up his hitman and says, has it happened yet?" The hitman says, "I have him in my sights right now." The guy says, "Okay, are you going to shoot him?" The guy says, "Hang on. You want her shot in the face, right?" The guy says, "Yes." He says, "You want me to shoot the other dude in the penis, right?" The guy says, "Yes." The hitman says, "Okay, just wait a second. I'm trying to save you $1,000." It's not a great joke, but it's a good joke. I like it. I like it. Makes me laugh. Anyway, what was this? Uh, 18 to 24-year-old makes males are both at their peak aggressive and are unlikely to be making good decisions. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's who you're going to find to do stupid things. That's not going to be your best. Your best hitman's going to be one to get away with it. So you're going to be looking for somebody wise and older. You don't want somebody who's a you don't want somebody when you're looking for a hitman, you don't want somebody who's aggressive. You want somebody who's clinical. What makes a good hitman? God, that's another good discussion point. Because what makes a good hitman is not a warrior type. It's not a fighter. It's a tactician. Because you want somebody who will be patient, who can lay in wait, who can do the thing, who can methodically work through the process of eliminating a bad guy. You want somebody who's wise and steady and not slow, but measured. I don't think 18 to 25 would be the proper age for a hitman. I think that's a bad age to have a proper hitman. I mean, I'm thinking somebody, a retired army, retired sniper, a trained killer who's past his aggression, but willing to do. He's got to be sociopathic, not a psychopath, a sociopath. You want somebody who knows what they're doing is atypical of the standard methodology of polite society and doesn't want it to be seen, which is a sociopath, as opposed to a psychopath who doesn't know what he's doing is weird and doesn't care if he gets caught because he doesn't think what he's doing is weird. And you want somebody who's measured, careful, and methodical in his actions and activities, not some young, dumb, full of cum kind of guy. So, unless you train them from a young age, like that John Lee Malvo kid who was trained by the what's his face Muhammad, the DC sniper, who was the trigger man in the sniper case in the Baltimore area. That was a kid who was trained to be a killer from an early age by oh, what was the dude's name? DC Sniper, the actual mastermind of DC. John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. Not Lee John. Lee Boyd Malvo was the kid. John Allen Muhammad was the guy who trained the kid to be the shooter. So yeah, if you want somebody young, you gotta have him who's trained at a young age. Hmm. You think Coke would be easy? You think Coke would be the easiest? Cocaine, not Coca-Cola. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could get. I don't know if I know I can get a hold of weed in less than 24 hours. I don't know if I can get a hold of Coke in less than. I don't know if I could get a hold of Coke in 100 and by the end of the week. I don't know if I could get a hold of. Hmm. I guess that's a thought experiment. Maybe it's an actual experiment. Maybe we should make some phone calls and see what I could do. Some guys. Now that I've never heard of anyone intentionally wanting it. Okay, if you want a serial hitman, I'm thinking just this one job. Oh no, yeah. See, that's the thing. I could probably, me personally, I could probably do one job. But as far as a profession, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't even know if I could do one job. Like that's a level of sociopathy that I've never really entertained. You know, it's one thing. mm, It's one thing to be willing to kill for a principle. It's another thing to be willing to kill for money. This is on the verge of getting really dark. I don't know if I want to reveal that much about my inner demons to you people. uh, uh, let's just leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Could I do horrible things? Yeah, I think I probably could. Uh, have I done horrible things? Nah, I don't think so. 20-year-old me might think of somebody as a human. 40-year-old me is like, this person has a family. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. That's the thing. When you enter, normal people in society, I mean, there's a reason why the army wants 18 to 24-year-olds. There's a reason why you age out of the military at a certain age. There's a reason why they don't want you anymore because presumably the things that they ask you to do have weighed enough on you that if you haven't, if you're a non-commissioned officer through your 40s and into your retirement years, what they've asked on you enough, you've pointed a high caliber rifle at somebody, another human being enough times that it's time to move on. It weighs on your soul. It weighs on the physical being of you as a person. And you start to see people as a collection of interrelated relationships, interconnected relationships. That's not just a person, that's a brother, that's a sister, that's a child, that's a parent, whatever. You start to see the person for not just their individual silo, but everything that they touch around them, the business, the community, and all the stuff. But if you are the sociopathic, this is just a job, nothing personal, don't care. You pissed off the wrong people, they hired me to do a thing. You're just doing a job. It's you and the money. You're dispassionate. It's like hiring a lawyer to argue your case in court. It's like hiring a marketing professional to promote your business. I'm not I personally am emotionally attached to my business. You don't want to buy my whiskey? Why not? Do you make bad decisions every day? Versus my marketing manager, my sales managers who are out there in the field, they're like, "No, we're not interested right now." They're like, "Cool, I've got 15 other people to talk to. Bye." They got more shit to do. For me, it's personal. I don't want to buy your whiskey. Well, fuck you. Fuck you and your stupid bad decisions. Eat my dick. That's the passion. The dispassionate third party that you hire to do that sort of thing. That's why you hire a lawyer in divorce proceedings. Because in a divorce proceeding, you just want to reach across the table and smack the shit out of them. But you hire a lawyer because the lawyer's not going to do that. They're just trying to get a resolution to the case. Which creates a whole bunch of other things, economic issues involved, of aligning motives and all that shit. But that's why you hire a realtor to sell your house so that you don't sell it. Because when they come up and they look at it, they go, "Oh, I don't really like this kitchen." You're like, "I spent 45 fucking hours renovating this fucking kitchen. Are you kidding me? You don't like it? You don't like all the work and effort that I put into this kitchen? And you're going to tell that to my face?" Meanwhile, a realtor will be all like, "Well, there's a whole lot to like. Look at the pantry. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this." Like they're going to redirect them to things that they want to see. You want that dispassionate third party. You want that tactical, methodical, progressive, chess move thought process. If he does A, then I do B. Then he does C, then I do D. Doom, 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 doom. Walking all the way through the process to the final resolution. If you just want passion, you do it yourself. And that's how most people fuck up the hit. They hire some dumb, stupid idiot who wants to do whatever you tell them to because you have nice tits. And most hits are a woman against her husband. Most convictions for hitmen are females trying to kill their spouses, women trying to kill their men, and they hire their stupid, dumb lover to do it, thinking that there's not going to be a paper trail. Like, nobody would think Keith would do that for me. And meanwhile, Keith is just dumb as shit because he's like intoxicated on that PP. Yeah. Keith is a moron. Don't trust Keith. That's what I'm saying. God, I wonder if I could find a hitman to interview for them for a happy hour. I wonder if I can find somebody who's willing to say that they're a hitman and would pose as a hitman for a show to be an interviewee. That would be even better. Like, do their face like dark. They'd be like shrouded the whole time. Can I do that? Let me look. Let me try. Would this work? Hang on. Almost. That almost works. Yeah. I'm Rocco. I'm the hitman that you asked to be on the show. This would work. Be Joe in the shadows, or yeah, maybe, maybe that'll be a show we do. Yeah, I'll reach out to one of my buddies and ask him to act like a hitman. Hey, I want to interview a hitman for my show. Can you be a hitman? And Ryan will be all like, okay. Maybe Jay, maybe Jeff. That'd be funny. All right. It's what, 2:00? 1:30. Okay. I am satisfied with the technology shakeout for tonight. This is stable. I like this. I'm happy with this. We can do a panel show. We can do a panel show once a week, once every couple of weeks, do a proper happy hour where we have just people on. I can do 6 people as on a panel for the show. Pete proved it that we could do it. I'll do it before midnight. Maybe I'll do it Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know which day. Tuesday is 21090. Maybe I'll do Wednesday. I don't think people do a whole lot of shit on Wednesdays. We'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am the Old Humble Guy. This has been the Old Humble Happy Hour, late night, after dark, after midnight. I am going to go to bed, hit the sack, and chill out. You do whatever the hell you want. I'm not the boss of you. Have a great night. Cheers. Where's the fucking... There it is. Good night, everybody.